Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy and welcome to Tom's Tutorial Tuesday. It still feels weird saying it, I don't know. This is the third official 1 Biome 6 Enclosures tutorial, and today we will dig our claws, did you get it, into the desert biome. We already did the alpine/taiga biome, we already did the Germany biome. What's the Germany biome? The temperate biome, yes. And now we are looking at the desert biome, which I think many people find hard to do when it comes to distinguishing enclosures, to creating something different, but that is what we will try to do today. I will try to show you 6, at least I hope they will be, different enough enclosures for you to spice up your desert parks. So let's get right into it. So the first enclosure that we are making is the regular desert, or a regular desert with an oasis or 2 oases. As you'll see, we have 2 ponds in there. We'll have some palms. We're doing some texture work. I like to use the rocks around the water and also on the hills. And these are the palms that I was talking about. I'm adding some rocks, of course. You know that I do love my rocks. We are adding the big rocks, then the smaller rocks, and then the smallest rocks, so that it looks like a rock formation, so that it looks natural, and we are bringing some realism into the enclosure. This is the easiest enclosure to make, so we will not spend that much time on it. We are adding some extra palms since we finally can add these extra trees. Why wouldn't we do it? Because it looks much better when they are more dense, when the enclosure is more full. And I'm putting some shrubs in between the rocks, as you usually do, because you count on the fact that the dinosaurs don't usually walk around the rocks that much. This is the second enclosure that I'm starting. I like to call this the Shrub Desert. I'm using this other rock texture and also a little sand to distinguish it in color, so that the enclosure looks different from the first enclosure that we built today. I'm putting in the cacti, or the cacti brush, and also the shrub brush. I will be adding more shrubs later on and deleting some of the cacti. Of course, we are having rocks here. No palms in this enclosure, because this enclosure is supposed to feel different from the enclosure right next to it, with all the shrubbery. It's basically much more barren. This is like a desert that you would imagine somewhere in North America, or at least I think so. I've been to that desert in North America, so I've seen how it looks. It's all red, it's all nice, and I only have good memories from the places that I visited. I spent summer in Utah. Before that, I spent the summer in New Jersey. So I don't think any of my American friends are watching this, but I would like to say hello. And these are the cacti that I was talking about. I'm adding some, and I'll be adding Allosaurus into this enclosure. This is the Velociraptor. Of course, the desert Velociraptor has to have the JWE2 skin. I don't know why, it's just in my head. It like that, it has to be. The third desert that we are doing is the rocky desert, and this will be red and rocky and also hilly or mountainy. We are putting the rock texture down, and we'll be mixing it with some dirt, and we are putting the water all the way down there so it looks like a canyon. So we could basically call this a canyon, and I only realized when I was editing the video that this looks like a face. It's a sad face. And it's creeping me out. Seriously, it is creeping me out that I did a sad face in this enclosure. I promise nothing is going wrong with my life. I'm okay. This is the Allosaurus, and I was checking if you can actually see the enclosure well from the viewing gallery. I was adding some of these cacti, but they do come with their own textures, so I kind of deleted them later, not entirely, but I was like, I would rather have these individually placeable cacti instead of those. I wanted to keep the enclosure rocky, I wanted to keep it red, and I'm putting in the good feeder because this is for the Carnotaurus. Of course, when you're in the desert, you need to have a Carnotaurus. That's my number one rule. No, that's not my number one rule. My number one rule, if you would like to see my video on 5 sandbox rules that I am trying to keep, and basically it's 5 sandbox tips, I will link it down in the description. And I will not tell you what my number one rule is. This is a teaser. So this is the next enclosure that I like to call the beach. Well, it is a beach, so that's why I'm calling it the beach. I'm using the black rocks because I'm trying to create something different, and I do swear that I thought that this sand would be more white. I was literally hoping for a whiter sand, and I think that the one in the on the San Diego map really is white, because I was doing this enclosure there, if you saw my recent park build, and I really feel like it was white. I'm not sure though, so and I didn't check afterwards, but I was really surprised. What I'm doing here is cheating a little bit because I'm trying to squeeze in as many trees as it's humanly possible, because I was trying to create a jungle right next to the beach, and we'll be putting a Spinosaurus in this enclosure. This is the look at the Carnos, also from the viewing gallery. And we are starting our 5th enclosure that I like to call the River Nile. And this one is actually a River Nile Delta. I did the River Nile enclosure twice already. I'm sorry, but yes, we are in the desert, and I am allowed to struggle a little bit from time to time, at least I guess. Because yeah, it is true that the desert biome is a little more limited than the other biomes, but you would find that you are just as well limited in the temperate biome. So I'm doing a river delta. I'm doing this a little differently than I did the first 2 times when I just did the River Nile. I don't know why it has to be a River Nile, but I guess I am thinking of the Sahara Desert when I'm doing this, and that's like the most famous river that goes in the desert. So I was trying to do some texture work here. Well, not trying to, I was doing some texture work here. I put in the red rock in the riverbed. Of course, I was trying to put some elevation to it so that it looks like a riverbank. And of course, we do need palms. I'm putting I put the red rock texture in the water so that it looks deeper. If you want to make your water look deeper, you use the rock textures or the dirt textures, anything that's very dark. That's the word that I was going for. I couldn't remember the word dark. And sometimes happens. Sometimes the most basic words just like slip out of your mind. And this is the view from the viewing gallery, and we'll be putting a Suchomimus in it. It has to be Suchomimus because I did the enclosure twice, and twice I put Suchomimus in. I don't know why these guys, all the fish eaters, do really fit well in the desert environment, also in the swamp, also the tropical environment. I wouldn't put them in the alpine environment. That's like one thing that I wouldn't do with them. This is the last enclosure, and it's called the Tropical Islands. We'll be putting Baryonyx in it, just as I did in my San Diego build. This whole video is basically inspired by my San Diego build, and I'm always trying to do this 1 biome 6 different enclosures according to which park I'm promoting at the moment. And again, I'm using these. They are not biome specific, but I wanted to spruce it up a little bit. I will be also using the palms. So again, we do have limited options here. So, but I think that it fits this enclosure nicely and it fits the environment very well. I'm putting some palms, and the game didn't want to give me the palms. The game didn't give any palm. That was an attempt at a joke, and I'm deeply ashamed. I'm sorry. No palm was given. That's what I wanted to say, actually. Anyway, enough of dad jokes. I'm too young to be making dad jokes. And I'm just 28. Still young. I will not accept anything else. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked. These are the enclosures. This is the first enclosure that we did, the raptor enclosure, the regular desert. If you can call a desert a regular desert, is there any other desert than a regular desert? I don't know. This is the Oasis. This is the Allosaurus enclosure and the Shrub Desert. Dessert? I would love some. The Shrub Desert. Even though, again, I don't know if that's the official name for this kind of a desert. I'm doing it again. Desert. I wasn't really good at geography at school. I mean, I liked environmental geography, not so much learning about countries. You are finding out so many facts about me today. But I should be talking about the enclosures. These are the Carnos and the Rocky enclosure, and this is, or the Rocky Desert, and this is the Spinosaurus beach. I was going for a jungle. It isn't that hard to do this kind of a jungle in the forest environment. You just need to mix all the brushes together, try to fit it in, try to find the spaces here and there. Put it in, like this little gap, that little gap, and these are the Suchomimus in the River Nile Delta. And looking good, looking nice. I will list all the skins in the description, as I always do, or as I started doing at a certain point. And I think that we are nearing the end. We are gonna check the Baryonyx enclosure. These are the tropical islands. And with these tropical islands, I will say my goodbyes. Yes, I do have to go. So thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tommy. If you like the video, please give me like, comment, or share the video with your friends. Tell them, look at this guy. He's doing some cool enclosures. Or at least I think that I do. And if you like my content, please do consider subscribing, because I have much more of this coming. I have more tutorials, I have more parks to promote, and basically all kinds of stuff. So thank you again, and have a great day. Bye bye.